Right out of the gate, the CMF Phone 1 has got me, well, a little confused. I am familiar with the concept of budget-oriented sub-brands like Honor or Red Magic or OnePlus. It's just that nothing does, well, nothing to hide their association, putting their branding right on the side of the box. And is nothing really such a premium brand that they need a sub-brand? I'm not saying they're bad products, I'm just saying it feels a little bit like walking into an IKEA and finding FFP, Furniture for People branded products next to the IKEA branded ones. What really was the difference here? One difference is of course the price. The CMF Phone 1 starts at just $200, and I've gotta say, getting this in my hands, I don't believe it. Everything about this device, from the design to the materials, is deceptively premium feeling. I mean, this is made of plastic, but it's not the kind of thing that I would notice if I wasn't a materials nerd and I was just using my phone like a normal person. Even the bezels are, yeah, they're on the bigger side compared to the latest flagship devices, but they're perfectly reasonable. This, my friends, is a 120 hertz variable refresh rate, 1080 by 2400 AMOLED display. On a flipping $200 phone? They even advertise peak brightness of 2000 nits, meaning this should be great for watching HDR content. Unfortunately, our lab didn't measure anywhere near that high, but at over 1200 nits, that's still enough to blow out our top-down camera and make for a very acceptable HDR experience. And even the speakers are surprisingly good, or rather I should say, speaker, since there's no amplified earpiece speaker. But that's the kind of thing you expect to find on a budget phone. And honestly, I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit because we haven't even looked at the exterior. One of the coolest things about this device is that this plastic backing, which has this really cool kind of industrial look with screws on it, is also extremely functional. Instead of buying cases for the Phone 1, you actually replace the entire back with any color you want, which is the C in CMF, which stands for color, material, finish. That is such an innovative idea and one that I can fully get behind because it has the maybe unintentional consequence of also making it easier to swap out the battery. Just because you can swap out the battery doesn't mean that you're gonna get 5 to 10 years of uninterrupted service out of this thing because they are only committed to 2 years for major Android updates and 3 years for security updates, which is very much on the low side compared to competitors. We're gonna take a closer look at this after a mention for our sponsor. Oh no. Dearest Mr. Sebastian, a thread was published on your subreddit titled, "Let's get Dbrand's attention to sponsor Linus to dye his hair blonde again." Dbrand wanted to bring it back. I thought they were gonna sponsor me to dye it again on the show or something. I'm down. Dbrand, come at me.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a big bag of money or I'm not doing it though, because my wife is not gonna be into it. Today your evasive maneuvers will be ineffective. Before we fork over a big bag of money, we'd like to engage in the age-old tradition of try before you buy. Inside this box, you will find hair bleach. Use it to dye a small portion of your hair right now on camera. Does it have to be on my head? Why don't, for this portion, I use the selfie camera on the the CMF Phone 1. The rear camera is a 50 megapixel Sony affair with an assist camera that helps with portrait bokeh effects, and the front camera is 16 megapixels. From our experience, photos are okay. They're not the sharpest, but nothing does manage to pretty reasonably balance skin tones as well as overall color accuracy. As for video though, because both the rear and front camera lack optical image stabilization of any kind, you'll find you're gonna end up focus hunting a little bit, and in general, they're not really great. They're good enough. They're better than almost any laptop, especially when you consider how challenging these conditions are. But Belle, you wanna do the honors? Use it to dye a small portion of your hair. This isn't even gonna show up on camera. You're just gonna make me look like an idiot everywhere else.
Listen, this is what Dbrand would want. That's why they trusted me with this.
Dude! The instructions say small!
I want you to know I care deeply for this company and I would do anything to keep us going, keep sponsors happy.
Dbrand asked for a sample of what the dyeing my hair blonde sponsorship might look like and asked for a small part of my hair to be dyed blonde. I entrusted Belle, and he did this.
I got a little out of hand. I tried to massage it in, and the circle just got bigger and bigger.
Oh my gosh. It was like you have a ball on your head.
Thanks, hon.
No, seriously.
Yeah, unless they pay more. Anyway, let's take a look at the exterior of this phone. On the right side, we've got a lock button. On the top, we've got a microphone for noise cancellation. On the left, we've got volume rockers, or well, one rather. And then on the bottom, a USB Type-C port, that mono speaker I mentioned before, as well as our tray for the SIM card. Before we go any further, I wanna swap this out and see how long it takes. And I'm gonna use my LTT precision screwdriver. Oh, I love this! Okay, first of all, yeah, that's super nice. It comes with a SIM removal tool and everything you need to remove your old back plate, so that's all fine and cool. But it comes with a new little knobby piece. The point is that you can leave your old colors as accents! No way, it has micro SD expansion and dual SIM? What doesn't it have? Hey, there we go. Oh, okay, it's like a leverage point. That's the internals of the phone. Sick. How much are these accessory tops? Oh, so cool. Like look, if I wanna have like a black release knob and a black SIM tray, I could do that. Boom, accented. I love this. Now I just wish that I could have it on a phone that has NFC. So while they manage to match or even beat some mid-tier phones in other ways, like for example, offering 33-watt charging that manages to get to 50% in just half an hour, it lacks wireless charging, which is kind of an obvious one, but it lacks NFC. And with the prevalence of mobile payments these days, I just don't see how that cannot be a deal breaker for so many people. You know, it's the kind of thing where I wouldn't even be that mad if everything else about this phone wasn't so darn enticing. Like, even just the texture of this back, super nice. And in spite of the plastic back, they've actually managed to have decent enough cooling that the gaming performance matches the Nothing 2A, which is a device that costs up to like, what, about $150 US more? There's just so much to like here. Even the fingerprint sensor was really good in our testing, making it just an almost complete package at such a reasonable price. This is one of those ones where I guess I have no choice but the cop-out conclusion where I say, I can't recommend this one. It really does just come down to NFC. It's got 5,000 milliamp hour battery. It's gonna get like almost 2 days. But I wanna see a next gen that resolves that one issue at nearly the same price. Give it to me for $208. And like, I won't just recommend it. I'd flip and buy one of these. I mean, with that said, it's not like I obviously have the most discerning taste in phones. Subscribe to ShortCircuit. Quick bit of closure on this. This is what it looks like. Yeah. Dbrand, the WAN show's tomorrow. You will be the sponsor for the rest of this.